All right, quick context. Last night I recorded a video essay on the sloppification that's happening at the moment. And when I went to edit it this morning, it had 0 audio. And instead of me entirely re-recording, we are going to do an experiment. So you're going to watch the silent footage and I'm going to voice over what I was actually saying. The fun part of it is that the subtitles included are going to be an example of the caveman output that I'm describing in the video. So there's going to be a lot going on. So right here I'm doing the opener. I'm saying that I've had a group of browser tabs open for a couple of weeks that all keep centering around the same kind of things. So one of them is a Flesch Kincaid report from 1975. That's when the readability formula that I'm about to talk about was invented. One is the 2024 US reading scores, which hit a record low.
Stupid bitch!
One is a Mastodon post from developer Simon Willison, who first started pushing the word slop for AI-generated junk. Another is a GitHub repo called Caveman that explicitly processes AI output into like caveman speak as its feature. The other is a YouTuber called Marcus who ran the Flesch Kincaid readability formula on 93,000 top creative videos and got back a chart that has been frustrating me. Now this section is the readability formula and it's called the Flesch Kincaid grade level. And essentially in 1975, the US Navy needed to develop a formula to determine whether the materials that they were producing for the Navy was actually comprehensible. It's essentially a formula that takes any piece of text and looks at the sentence length and syllable count and spits out a US grade level equivalent. Essentially, if it's a 10, then a 10th grader could reasonably comprehend it. If it's an 18, it's more of a college graduate level. Then I go on to explain that this is a diagnostic tool, or it was originally a diagnostic tool, but now it's being used in the creation of content. And 3 pieces of evidence kind of point to this. So the first one, the US government's reading test for 8th graders called the NAEP. The latest results came out in 2024 and the scores hit a record low. About a third of US 8th graders now read below the test's basic level. The second one is the biggest US adult literacy survey, PIAAC. The results came out in late 2024 and average adult literacy fell quite a lot in the last 6 years. The people at the very bottom of the band struggle with anything more than a short factual passage. And that group grew by 11 million in about 6 years. And the third one is an Australian YouTuber named Marcus who ran the Flesch Kincaid score on the transcripts of 93,000 YouTube videos to determine where they sit. And his joke in the video was, if one used such simple word, much people understand. What I'm saying after all of this is that all 3 of these have the same population. 8th graders are growing into the YouTube audience. Adults watching YouTube are the same adults whose literacy fell. So when a YouTuber simplifies a script, they're not being lazy. They're tracking a real audience whose literacy levels have drastically fallen. And in this section, I talk about how you drop AI into the middle of all of that. Every text being published online right now is being co-written by an LLM, and language models by default write at about an 8th to 10th grade Flesch Kincaid. So short clauses, no embedded subordination, the same 100 connecting phrases on rotation. It's not X, it's Y. So you can feel that, and that is what Simon Willison referred to as slop. So in 2024 on Mastodon, he had said the way that spam became the term for unwanted emails, slop is going in the dictionary as the term for unwanted AI-generated content. And of course he's correct. In 2025, in November, Merriam-Webster had slop as their word of the year. Fun fact, in 2026, the New York Times ran an investigation and discovered that around 40% of the recommended for kids videos on YouTube are actually AI-generated slop. In this section, I talk about the GitHub repo Caveman, which had started as a Claude code skill, but has now branched out to pretty much every AI coding agent that you'd like. And the draw of Caveman is that, well, the README claims that Caveman cuts about 75% of output tokens. I'm talking about Adam, a guy on LinkedIn who wrote a long, disparaging, scathing post about Caveman, suggesting that if anybody that you know is preaching it, that you should unfollow them and potentially block them immediately. So a YouTuber simplifies their script because the adult literacy falls 12 points and they want the video to land. They want it to resonate with a quote unquote dumber audience. And a developer installs Caveman because compression feels like power or like using the model correctly. They're the same behavior. It's It's that we're all defaulting to flattening. And then the audience consuming it gets slightly less text fluent year on year. So in this section, I'm suggesting that the result is a slow downward slope on the same Flesch Kincaid graph that the Navy had invented to fix this exact problem in 1975. And we've spent 50 years using the formula in the wrong direction. This does all sound like boomer doomer gloom in that, oh, AI is making reading worse, AI bad. But complex sentences carry conditional meaning, and they let you say, okay, X is true, but only when Y and only if Z hasn't happened. Short sentences, they default to the loudest claim with the conditions and the variables kind of just taken away. And simplification strips out parts of language that make us sound uncertain. And the caveman version of anything comes out by default sounding more confident. And so by and large, the suggestion is to ride the wave all the way down and make simpler thumbnails, simpler titles, use simpler language, and then you'll gain a larger, broader audience because that's what people can understand, and that's what the algorithm then in turn favors. Which is why it's rare and valuable ground, I think, to produce something that has a grade level that is appropriate and has nuance and has a lot of kind of it depends baked into it. And I am actually quite glad that the audio failed on the original video essay because I was going to scrap it, but I got suggested by a friend to add AI generated subtitles over this video to kind of demonstrate the point that I'm trying to get at. And hopefully it wasn't terribly confusing. Okay, love you. Hope you win.